right, you clicked a little record. I think you click a little record shit on your end too. All right, we're recording. Hola, ¿qué pasa? Welcome to episode 307 of the Hooniverse podcast. And I'm being mildly racist because I'm drinking
Say, what are you drinking? Tequila?
margaritas in a can, apparently. I don't know why I was using that voice. I apologize to everyone. Cazadores makes a margarita in a can, and I'm having those tonight. So,
That's cool. I gotta find that.
yeah, a little 4-pack. That, if you're not watching the video, is the voice of my wonderful co-host, Ron Baugh. How are you, sir?
I'm well.
Drinking a Beverino. Before we fully dive into things tonight, I want to take a moment to talk about a car show, a vehicle show that I have coming up that I need to get the word out, and I haven't done on the podcast yet. Ron, you know what it is, but everybody else listening might not. I am co-founding an electric-focused show with our friend Bradley Brownell.
I knew Brad was involved. I didn't know you were the co-founder. That's amazing. That's cool, man.
There's a couple other wonderful people involved as well. We'll get into that in later on, but it's called Autopia 2099, AUTOPIA 2099. Go to autopia2099.com for more information. And if you're in the LA area, I would love to see you there. We're having an actual car show plus other vehicles, all sorts of electric mobility. It has a retro future bent to the theme. We've rented a studio near LAX, a really cool event space. Actually, where Acura is revealing the Integra tomorrow night, oddly enough, the same event space. I think we've rented more of it than them because we're having a lot of cool car show. BC is bringing a bunch of his electric stuff. Let me move this out of the shot. He's bringing a bunch of his stuff. Nissan's bringing stuff. Nissan is sponsoring the show. We have a handful of people bringing cool stuff. And if you have something electric that you want to bring, there is still time to sign up and bring your vehicle. The event is December 4th. At Optimus Studios in LA. All the information is at autopia2099.com. I would really love to see you all there. I'm going to talk a bit more in depth about the show on a future episode. Maybe we'll get Bradley on an episode too to have him really dive into it, and we'll go from there. But please sign up, come see us. Get your tickets now rather than trying to get them at the door. And we would love to see all of you wonderful people there in a safe way and enjoy ourselves and talk about electric cars in a really cool way. So there you go. That's my spiel. Yeah.
Nailed it.
That's my spiel to start things off. And now we're going to get back to gas stuff. Well, almost mostly gas stuff with a little bit more EV talk. Ronald, you just got back from SEMA.
I did indeed.
How was it?
It was weird, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've been to SEMA now something in almost 20 years, 21 years, something like that. So I'm seasoned. I've seen it all, I feel like, and I might be a little bit jaded, but
Sure.
Attendance was down. It was probably 1/2 to 1/3 of the past few years.
Now, is that attendance for vendors or people or both? Both. Okay.
From what I was just there for one day,
right?
One full day, and what I gathered was exhibitors probably 50% of a full show capacity.
Wow.
And I'd say attendees, it's hard to gauge it based on one day, especially when you're not working a booth and you're not seeing constant traffic.
Yeah.
I was just cruising around, seeing what was going on, trying to catch any trends and just see what was popular and if there was anything new and mind blowing. Which
I believe the kids say, "What is popping?"
Yes, what's cracking, what's popping. So I don't want to sound like super disappointed or anything. It's kind of what we expected.
Sure.
Based on limited exhibitors.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say it's probably 1/3 the typical attendance. And my segment of the industry, the wheel and tire industry, was particularly underrepresented. The South Hall was kind of, I hate to say it this way, but kind of a ghost land of when compared to previous years and like the big brands that exhibit. So it was I think last year a lot of wheel and tire companies especially realized like, hey, this might not be a critical component of our marketing strategy for the year. And I think people just decided to hold off another year and see, instead of taking risks and putting, their employees, their business, at any sort of risk, just kind of take another year off and kind of gauge what the show really means to their their bottom line each year. So
Yeah, it can't
it
be
was it
cheap.
was it was, it was definitely cool to see a lot of my industry friends and see some cool builds. And
Hmm.
the Bronco was for sure the number one
The
vehicle of the show.
darling. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes
and
sense.
there's still a million brodozers and crazy lifted trucks with big wheels, and that's probably going to continue to be the case for the next few years,
Right.
because that's just they're they just get so much attention. And people still love to build those, especially in Florida, Texas, etc. So it
Hmm.
was it was interesting. I don't want to be a complete like spoil sport and like poo poo on it, but it was eye opening to see the difference between this year and previous years. So
Okay. Um, you mentioned some of the builds. Obviously, there were Broncos galore. Ford really kind of brought it. If you had to pick an automaker who brought it, did you see anything Ford specific that stood out to you?
Ford had a couple EV like classic builds. Like they had like I think it was a 78, 79 F100 that was
78.
that had their electric crate motor. And
Hmm.
it was a clean classic build aesthetically. It
Yeah.
had like oversized steelies, and it had a cool color combination. I think it was like white or some off-white color with I'm colorblind, so bear with me here. But it was like off-white with like copper trim and stuff, and it was super cool. And like I think honestly that is going to be the number one trend for the next 2 or 3 years. Is the automakers, the OEs, and other aftermarket operations creating crate motors and EV solutions, crate motors, but in quotes, but EV solutions for classic cars. And kind of capitalizing on that technology and making it more mainstream in the aftermarket. So
Right, right. And I mean, that truck caught my eye. That truck caught everyone's eye. There are people who aren't in the industry at all tweeting about it. Like famous actors were tweeting to Ford, like, please make this truck. Um, and it's crazy too. The crazy thing that I think about that motor, which they call the Illuminator,
right,
I think I think it might have already sold out or something like that. And
did you
two, it
hear
was only $3,900.
that? Right,
Now it's just a motor. It doesn't have batteries and controller, so you have to
right,
get that from somewhere else, and that stuff isn't cheap. However, Ford did say they're working on bringing some of that in and creating a turnkey package, which would be incredible if you could buy the motor, the batteries, and the controller, and then you literally just basically, I mean, there's still work involved, but you're connecting it to drive your wheels at that point, and you're
right.
pretty much good to go. That's pretty wild, and that's going to open up a lot of doors for EVifying all sorts of builds, and in California, where maybe you want to do, oh, I'd love to put X motor in this car, and I can't do it. You can slap an electric, and as long as it is fully electric dependent for an engine swap, you are now smog exempt.
Right. I
That's
think
pretty
it's
badass.
I think it's a great option for like the 75 or 76 and newer vehicles that are lacking performance, but also would not be carb legal or
Right.
smog legal in California. So I'm all for it. Like it's something I would even consider for my Continental, my 62
Yeah,
Continental. Like just that smooth power delivery. And like
absolutely.
I love rowdy
Right.
V8 motors and stuff, but for something like that, maybe that's a better solution. It's something that
Right.
I'm starting to consider myself, and I think that would be a really cool alternative.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's especially that car's big enough. You stuff two of them in there, and you still have plenty of room left over. You're not sacrificing anything. It'll be smoother than whatever other engine you would have put in there. It'll probably, with two motors, would make more torque than whatever you would have put in there. Um, it's a great solution for a lot of options. I still think about if I could have kept my 74 Mercedes and EV swap that, it would have been a perfect car
Yeah,
for something like that. Just Mercedes smooth. It would have smoothed it out. Would have taken
exactly.
it from a vintage E class to a vintage S class,
Right.
um, in terms of the ride. But now back to some of the gas stuff. Besides everything Bronco that was there, did you get to see Freddie Tavarish Hernandez's McLaren?
I didn't,
Mm,
but I know that's a huge accomplishment. He's been working on that thing for 2 years and
yeah.
finally finished that thing. I don't know what his plans are for it, or
I don't know what his plans are either. I know that he's dumping a lot of his fleet because I think he just picked up some
Yeah,
kind of
Scuderia.
some Ferrari.
Yeah, 430 Scuderia.
Scuderia. Okay. And then I know he's daydreaming about finding a wrecked Bugatti, which if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him. Um, the blue color on it is fantastic with the trim pieces. Adding the roof scoop was awesome. The fact that McLaren said, he couldn't do it and he did it, and
Right.
it's better than stock, and it's a huge accomplishment. And I reached out to him on Twitter to congratulate him. He said he's going to have the car out in LA at one point.
Yeah.
He'll let us know, which would be really cool. Another amazing build, Ryan Tuerck Supra.
Man,
Did you see
I think
that
it's
one?
the most slept on car at SEMA this past year, simply because it was a fully functioning running build. They just tested it at Willow Springs yesterday.
Yep.
And that thing wails, like it sounds like nothing else.
Yeah.
I think that is like the most impressive build of, recent memory, not just this past year at SEMA, but I'd say in the last 5 years. Judd V10, full carbon fiber, wide body kit, just like straight up menace. Like that thing is incredible. And his team really accomplished.
They crushed it.
Yeah.
I've been following that build since the beginning because as soon as he announced that the engine for that one, I was instantly all in. For those of you listening who don't know what a Judd engine is, Judd makes very compact V10 engines. This is his specific is a 4-liter. I think it's the GV. I forget what the actual code is, but it's called it's a 4-liter V10. I think they're rated to do like 630 or no 7 something because his car's 630 wheel, so it's 7 something crank, and it red lines at 11.
It's insane.
And then these are engines that have they're race engines. They can be in everything from prototypes to people running vintage late model Formula One cars. There's one of the most famous ones. Yeah. One of the most famous ones is if you Google BMW hill climb car, there's a guy, George Plaza, ran a Judd engine. He used to dominate. He passed away, I think, in actually a crash, but he used to dominate hill climbs, and his car sounded so unique because it's a V10 revving to, 10, 11,000 plus. And now Tuerck Formula Supra tying it into F1 history. I saw a quick clip Ryan posted on his Instagram of the car running. Did you go? Were you at the test at Willow? No,
my guys were. It's on rotiform wheels, so
right.
we were there shooting, and yeah, I was like, dude, send nudes, like send videos. Like I need to hear this thing because I knew they weren't gonna really post anything for a few days until they had a chance to edit it properly. Mm-hmm. But I had my guys send me a couple of flyby videos and just like him just in the garage revving it. Like it's ear splitting. It's like it's so
crazy,
unbelievably loud, but like it tacks up so quick. Yep. It's just like one of the sexiest sounds in the automotive space.
I think one of the crazy parts for me is the quality of the fabrication on that car. His fabricator,
Dominic.
Yep, the way it reminds me on a different level. So one of my favorite internet builds is Project Binky, the Mini Cooper over in England from Bad Obsession Motorsports, where they took. Oh, really? Dude, it's a rabbit hole. There's so many videos you could watch now because it's on like episode fucking 30 or something. And they're long, and it's these 2 British guys with really dry humor, but their fabrication skills are the best I've seen. Like it's just the cleanest shit. And Doms have come along and just kind of it's amazing watching this guy work. But Project Binky, they take a vintage Mini and put it on a Celica all-track chassis basically to turn it into a rally car. And they're finally finishing it, which is crazy because it's been years since I started watching that one. This car they've completed, in a year or so.
I think they started like January, February of 2020. So it's like a pandemic project, and still that's amazing. Like
amazing. Yeah. But Dom's fabrication skills are unreal. Some of the stuff he's built where they have the alternator off the back running off a drive shaft at the tail end of the car. The gearbox is sick. The trans tunnel stuff you won't see. So you have to go back and watch stuff you won't see. The quality of the fabrication is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. The way he stamped the Toyota logo in the rear cab, the whatever. It's all sick. It's the sickest car.
And I think it's, like I said, I think it was the most slept on car at SEMA simply because it's like matte black or matte.
Mm-hmm.
Graphite, like it's not shouty, it's just real subdued and like toned down. And I mean, it's a race car, but it's, show car quality. Like
Yeah.
it's like street rod quality, but just not, leather wrapped. And,
Right.
it's just like everything is bespoke, everything is custom, and everything is done to such a high degree of fabrication. Like I can't wait to experience. I passed by it. I didn't have time. I got distracted in conversation. I saw the car and I knew I would have a chance, later to kind of take it all in. I'm really looking forward to that.
That's a good way to describe it. Is it's show car quality in a race car, because his plan is to race it. It's not a drift car. It's a road race car. I mean, knowing him, it'll be sideways though too at some point. But it's a grip car, and the gearbox is sick. The dyno videos are insane. The sound is wild. And that's them just still figuring it out. The crazy thing about that engine though, I was talking to someone who knows about fabrication and building and all this stuff over the weekend, and I mentioned that build, and he's like, I don't want to hate on it because the whole thing is awesome. I have other ideas that I think would have been potentially cooler for the Toyota tie-in. And he did have a good idea. He said they should have used an LFA engine, which is actually a really cool idea.
Sure.
But I was like, what's the like the interval on that engine? Is it like every 30,000 kilometers? He started laughing. He goes, I think that thing has like a 24-hour clock.
Right.
Like they run it, they're going to have to tear it down. Like you have to heat the coolant before you run the engine. You have to warm up the coolant before you fire the engine.
I've never heard of that. That's
so
amazing.
On Judd's website, it actually says the interval between rebuilds is 3,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
I mean, and the way Ryan's going to drive it, who knows?
They're typically pegged like 10,000, 11,000 RPM, like, their entire use. Like,
it's insane. That's insane. It's going to be so expensive to run that. Good thing he has good sponsors like the fine folks at Rotiform.
Yeah, we're trust me, we're not funding that project.
Whoever that computer company that is all over it. Height. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite build from SEMA that stands out to you?
I don't know, man. Like there was a lot of cool stuff. I guess it would be Joe Rogan's 69 Nova from Pure Vision. There's a couple things that I didn't like in the final execution, and like really the only thing honestly that I didn't like was the quad exhaust out the bumper. I didn't
even see it.
So it's a 69 Nova that has basically the fender openings, like the wheel openings, and the fender shape of a 69 Camaro.
Yeah.
So it's like, like that crazy crease in the body, both front and rear wheel arches, and like that where the body tucks up under. So the wheels and tires are massively exposed.
Excuse me. Yes.
It's just
good for podcast. People love hearing that shit in their ears.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I'm glad you're over there. But it's a really mean looking Nova.
Yeah, it is.
But like the idea is, if basically the 69 Nova and 69 Camaro were married, and the execution is great. There's just a couple little things that I would have done differently, but it's not my car and I didn't build it, and I didn't front the money for the build, so I'm sure Joe is more than happy with it. But the thing stands perfectly. It's finished beautifully. It's just one of those cars that I've been waiting to see for so long, completed and in paint, because they teased it probably 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm looking at
3 years ago.
I'm only looking at photos of the bare metal, so I'm not even seeing the painted one.
Yeah, so bare metal, it was super cool and intimidating, but like seeing it finished and like everything painted and chromed, like it was super sexy and impressive. I guess my biggest complaint is that they displayed it on stands, like on wheel stands.
Oh, so
you don't really get the correct sense of stance, because it's lifted like 10, 12 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it was impressive, but there was a lot of cool stuff at SEMA, man. Like, from the pro touring style,
okay.
My favorite builds, there was a lot of cool stuff, but I'm sure, there were some really impressive off-road builds. I didn't make it to the West Hall,
okay.
Which is new and apparently super impressive and really nice. That's where they had the Overland Expo and like most of the like truck and off-road stuff.
Nice.
Basically, if you're familiar with SEMA, traditionally upstairs South Hall has been like the truck hall where all the truck accessory manufacturers like exhibit their stuff, and they moved that to the West Hall, and they had the Tesla Superloop or whatever, like the that was like the preferred method of transport over there, and I didn't get around to it. Like,
you didn't want to go in the fucking dumb tunnel.
So, yeah.
That's funny. That if you haven't had a chance, Google that Nova, because I keep only finding photos of it in the bare metal, and it looks sick in the bare metal. It has an LT4 under the hood, but it's really almost confusing to the eye that it's like a Nova with the little Camaro it's weird, and the wheel choice is interesting. I'm kind of go back and forth on it, but that's neat. And he also had didn't he have actually a Camaro he showed too, or something, or a Firebird?
I didn't see it there, but I know that the Roadster Shop just finished a '69 Camaro for him.
Yeah, okay.
It's black, cool, and it's pretty sexy too. It may have been at SEMA. I just saw like a release video.
Okay.
In the last 2 weeks, it may have been there. I didn't see it, but man, it was like I was like on a guerrilla mission just to run around and see as much as I could that was pertinent to my interests and my work. So
did you even spend the night?
I did. Yeah. I was there Monday through Wednesday.
Oh, all right.
Monday night I walked the South Hall and kind of snooped around and took some spy photos and turned some wheels around and checked some stuff out to see who's making what and what the specs are on their stuff. So
all right.
I definitely cheated, but it's what we do, man. It's
right.
Like,
now
there are no secrets.
Speaking of spy photos, I just moved my mic. Sorry, everybody. I want to talk about something that happened on the way to SEMA. You kind of went viral. The last weekend.
I kind of like this. I haven't checked in a few days. I haven't checked since today is Wednesday. I haven't checked since Sunday, but like one of the views, I'm not even on TikTok, but somebody created an edit of this video and it had like 4.5 million views as of Sunday afternoon.
All right. Well, back it up and tell everybody what happened. I'll let you tell the whole thing.
Oh man, it was so I drove out Monday. We were supposed to leave like noon on Monday, and I drove out with some of the Hoonigan guys, who are now our partners at Wheel Pros. So it was me, Vin, Scotto, Hurt, and Danger Dan. You still chasing that fly or
no? I just hit my head on my mirror on my Montero.
So yeah, we drove out on Monday, and I drove out my buddy Sam Dobbins' Mark 7 GTI, which is originally built for SEMA probably 5 years ago, and it's wide body with a Rocket Bunny kit and like half cage, and it's basically
it's a Rocket Bunny kit on a GTI.
Yeah, so it's super wide body and on rotiform, and it was basically built as a VW tribute to the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. So it's the GTI RS is, the original build thing. So anyway, it needed to be at SEMA. He drove his Touareg out, and they're kind of like matching, as far as the color scheme. So they were to be in the Hoonigan booth. So basically I was recruited to drive his car out, and I said, sure, no problem, because that kind of solved a problem for me. None of my cars are actually safe to drive 250 miles or whatever it is. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll drive that. And so it was a caravan of 4 cars and like 6 of us. Is that right? Yeah, 6 of us. Ron as well, Ron Zaris, Ron Carr on Instagram. He drove his FDR7. Vin was in his NSX, and Scotto and Hurt were in their giveaway R33 GTR.
Oh yeah, yep.
So it was a great group to drive out with. I felt like I should have been in a Mark IV Supra, like that would have made it more appropriate. Like the GTI was kind of out of place. It was the only modern car of these like 90s Japanese legends.
Yep. Keep talking. I'm just grabbing my salt cutter to see that fly.
I see you loading up there. But we cruised out, and it was slow starting. It took us probably.
I'm listening. I am.
I know, but I'm laughing at you. Okay. But it was a slow start, and we were just kind of dragging ass in traffic. We got on the 50. We were going from the 57 north to the 10 east.
Yep.
And like 2 minutes after getting on the 10 east, this Honda Civic pulls up next to Vin, and I'm the second car. Vin's the lead car. And the Civic pulls up next to Vin and throws, like, first, like, sloshes, like, the passenger. It was a lady in the, well, maybe not a lady, but a woman in the passenger seat. She throws her drink at Vin's car.
Right.
I'm like,
gorgeous NSX.
yeah,
Gorgeous
like,
NSX.
super clean, lowered on road forms. Like, his car is like the perfect example. And then she throws the cup, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, Vin did nothing to warrant this, right? Like, you know, I've been behind him this whole time. We're not driving crazy. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Victory. So, yeah, she throws her drink, and almost instantly, within 2 seconds, the Civic runs into a Cadillac CTS in front of him, like literally
in the left lane.
Yeah,
and you guys were chilling in the middle lane. Like, there was nothing before this dash cam we didn't see.
No, man, we went back and looked at the dash cam footage. And first of all, like, my favorite part of this whole thing is that I didn't realize that there was dash cam because it's not my car.
Right.
Like, Sam has dash cams and technology out the ass in all of his cars, but like, it's just something I didn't even think of.
Right.
So, like, I'm texting him updates because he's waiting on the other end for us to get there at SEMA to place the cars and stuff. So I'm texting him updates like, yo, we're 2 hours late leaving. You know, Vin's license plate just fell off. Like,
right.
It was such a comedy of errors this whole trip. And we're only like an hour and a half into it. And I'm like, best, worst road trip update number 4.
Right.
Some lady just threw a drink at Vin's car and immediately ran into the car in front of him. I was just like, instant karma, like the best thing ever. And yeah, I didn't realize that there was a camera recording. And it was a few minutes later, like after I sent Sam that update, I was like, wait a minute, is your dash cam recording? And he was like, oh yeah. And it was like, okay, well, how do we get this footage off? He's like, well, you got to take the card out, or, you know, you've got to like connect to the app and then download the footage. And like, we're driving, and I don't want to stop again because we're hours late at this point.
Right.
So I was like, dude, like, how do I get the card out? And he's like, oh, you pretty much have to stop, and you got to take the camera off the mount and this and that. I was like, fuck all that. So he was like, oh, just unplug it. Like, it's got like 12 volts.
Because you don't want it to write over what it was
recording. Exactly. It would record over that. I think like you get like 1 hour of footage, and then it re-records over itself.
Right.
So like after 30 minutes trying to figure it out, not being able to do so in traffic, and not wanting to endanger anybody else, and not wanting to pull over and stop because that would be another hour, I just unplugged it. And then we drove the next 4 hours to Vegas, and we were just like we stopped for gas, and we all laughed about it. Like, Ben and I just like cracked up like the second that it happened. But like, I really didn't know what was on camera. Like, I didn't even know if we caught it. And, you know, in the moment, like, I definitely didn't know it was recording. So like,
right.
I wasn't performing. It was just an honest, like, gut reaction. And
because there's two dash cams.
Ah! Like, you know, I laughed and I howled like harder than I ever had. And it made that trip, and it like made my SEMA experience, and it totally went viral after that. But yeah, like, I saw my reaction for the first time when we pulled the card, and I forgot that there was even an interior cam. Like, I just imagined it was just the forward facing camera, and Sam showed me the interior footage, and I cracked the hell up. Like, it was like one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. And like, I was so happy to share it because it was instant karma. It was like instant justice. And, you know, it was just one of the funnier things that I've ever experienced. And, you know, I'm glad that a lot of other people appreciated it for what it was. And I felt bad because, you know, I doubt that anybody was hurt, but you know, you don't like to
the crash didn't
get hurt and innocent people be involved. But
no, it was a fender bender. It wasn't like they were doing like 60. Like, it was slowing.
No, maybe
that lane was stopped
at most 20 miles an hour.
Right. Amazing though. The fact that there was the interior and exterior dash cams is amazing. It's still on your Instagram account, right? Yeah. Go to 777 Style on Instagram if you want to watch it.
Unedited, like 1 minute.
Yeah.
Both external and internal cams.
Yep. It's amazing. And the timing of it was unreal because that day or like the next day, I think it was whatever it was like maybe it was the next day I had a Zoom meeting or a phone call with a dash cam company that wants to give us product to review. And I'm like, the timing on this is amazing. So we're getting some dash cams. I'm getting. It's not the same company that was in Sam's car, but I told them
they're
about the
asleep at the
video.
wheel. They haven't reached out at all. They haven't reposted. I don't even know if they're aware that their camera was featured in this like crazy viral video.
Yeah.
Screw them. Like
No. Well,
moving on.
the other company, Nextbase, that we're talking to and working with, the rep was like, "Oh, send me the video. I don't care whose dash cam it was. We love videos like that. Like we want to see it." And they're like, "And if you get videos like that while using ours, please let us know because we would love to share them." But we're getting two of their top of the line ones that you're getting one that you can toss in whichever one of your vehicles you want. I'm going to put one in the Montero. And then there's a lower level one that I'm going to put in the Jag. The reason I'm putting the high level one in the Montero is because it has optical image stabilization. So they say they found that off-roaders like using them because it's as smooth. They say they're like, we can't say it's as smooth as a GoPro, but it's as smooth as a GoPro. So I'm really curious to test it. I'm going to hardwire that one. The Jag one, I might just like do a basic mount just to see the different ways. I want to experience the different ways a consumer might use it.
Sure.
Which they're interested in hearing about as well. And you can do it however you want, but that way, if we both have them.
Yeah, I'll probably switch back and forth between cars. It's like whatever I commute in because kind of sucks, and you never know what you're going to encounter.
Sure. The interesting thing I thought with the way their mount is that if you could hardwire the mount, and then it's possible to release the camera from that. And if you had a mount hardwired in a different car, you could just transfer the camera, which is actually really cool. But I just wanted to bring that up to say, keep an eye out for that on future shows. It won't just be the podcast. It'll be on Hooniverse and on video and all that stuff too. But I've been wanting to test a dash cam for so long. So I'm excited to do this. Just because people drive like shitheads. So
absolutely. And like I had a dash cam in the Tahoe for a long time. And again, I'm not going to mention the company because I have nothing nice to say about them after my more than 1 year experience with them. But what I really valued about it was that it would activate and notify you when the car was parked, if anything shook the car, if glass was broken, if anybody moved by, it was motion activated. So, when I parked across the street in a public parking garage, it gave me peace of mind because it would notify me anytime there was any sort of activity with the camera in the car. But they changed hands, and then they wanted to charge $20 a month for the service that was previously free. And then the service was like offline for a month. And then when it came back online, I parked my truck outside my home so that I could see it because I didn't trust it being, out of sight. But literally within 1 hour of the service being reactivated and me moving the truck back to the public garage, somebody broke in and stole the camera.
That is amazing.
Yeah, just like nothing was damaged, no windows broken, nothing, just like literally jimmied into the truck, stole the camera, and there's all my security gone. Like
the camera
immediately went offline, and then it came back online in Kansas City like 24 hours later, and that was it. Never again. I'm just like, what did I pay for? Like, I'm like, okay, like they have a free replacement program, but like, you go through the rigmarole of customer service and nothing happens. Nobody ever like answers any emails, any messages, and
oh my God,
it never got replaced. And they continued to charge me $20 a month for the service for like another 3 months. And I was like, dude, fuck you guys.
Right.
Give me my money back.
Yep.
I don't even want another camera. Just give me my $60 back.
Fuck off
and
forever.
Go to hell. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's fucking hilarious. Now, this ties into tech a little bit because I can't transition without having some sort of segue. Press car this week. Outside, I have the Mercedes-Benz S580.
Oof.
And it might be like the best all-around car out there. It's just absolutely, and I've always loved Mercedes, but it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
So under the hood is a twin turbo V8 making 496 horse, 516 pound-feet of torque. It's a 48-volt mild hybrid system, so plenty good off the line. The gauges have a 3D effect you can turn on and off, and when it's on, it actually works really well. It doesn't. Yeah, I'll keep talking about the Benz. It's sick how well the gauges work. It's stereoscopic. It tracks your eyes. The HUD, the head-up display, is augmented reality, so it also moves a bit with your head. It can display turn-by-turn navigation. The headrests have pillows. 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. The cabin is so quiet inside. And then this one has an optional Burmeister sound system that has 1,750 watts.
What?
Yeah. And I think it has 17 speakers. And it's a $6,730 option. And it sounds excellent.
Yeah,
this one has red leather inside. It's 143 grand, which like, here's the thing. You could buy a Bentley or a Rolls or something. Like Rolls obviously is like stratospherically expensive. Bentley's extremely expensive. This car technically is literally technically is better than them. Like the stuff's all going to work because it's a Mercedes.
Right.
It's just not as flashy. And for the person who doesn't want flash, this is a cheaper, better car.
Yeah.
And this isn't even the AMG version yet. There's a Maybach version coming out if you do want a little bit more flash. Because when people see that, most of the times, car guys know right away, oh shit, Maybach. But like to the average person, like, well, something that extra is going on with that S-Class.
Car guys I feel like, you know, and I've played in this luxury segment my entire career, but I feel like car guys, real true car guys and girls, aren't so impressed. Yes, aren't so impressed by Maybach. Like it's like, you know, an S580, right? Is that what you have? S580 is 90% of a Maybach. Yes, you know, unique rear seat treatment, and it's like, you know, meant to be chauffeured as opposed to driven.
Right.
But you know, I don't see the value in a Maybach. Like I'm not super impressed by it. Like I'm like, that guy, that girl, that person could have saved $100,000.
Yeah.
And just had an S-Class and had 90% of the experience.
Right. So I would go, like, if I really was shopping in this space, I'd go S-Class, AMG if I wanted the juice.
Right.
And then if I wanted more, I would skip the Maybach, then I'd go to the Bentley.
But how insane is it that the non-AMG version is 0 to 60 under 4 seconds? Like,
3.9. Yeah.
Like, you know, why do I even need an AMG? Like personally, I would tune S580 and, you know, save myself at least $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Yeah, yeah. But then the person, they want the badge and the engine and the blah blah blah. And the person who buys, the person who's buying these, they're not tuning this shit. The average person. You know, grandpa's.
I can't get anything like, oh, that's what it is, and that's how it will remain. Like everything on the market to me is like, okay, what's the tuning potential? How can I personalize this? How can I make it faster, make it perform better? You know, it's like, and kind of beat the system, like come in with AMG performance without spending AMG money.
Sure. I mean, I'm the guy who wants to mount tune a Transit 350 to make like 400 horse. So I get it. I definitely get it. But this car is the best. The funny thing is, not this week because I pushed it back. The following week, I actually get the Maybach GLS, the GLS 600, and I'm taking it all the way to Mammoth and back with the family. We're going like we're doing it like a Maybach. Going skiing, renting a cabin.
Waspy, bro.
Well, snowboarding. I'm snowboarding, so like there's a punk edge to my waspiness.
You're West Coast waspy.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna take the 5 to the exactly. No, that's it. But the Mercedes-Benz S580 is the best car. It's just so fucking perfect.
I would agree.
And it looks so good, and it's so comfortable, and it fucking bumps the music.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, what's going on with your fleet at the moment? Anything new? I know you did your photo shoot.
Last week was, or 2 weeks ago, last we spoke, and I was so thrilled with myself. I went from 1 car out of 4 running to 4 out of 5, and now I'm at like 2 out of 5 running reliably. Like, you know, the Mustang is running, but I was in that commercial, and that commercial shoot turned out to be such a nightmare. Like the car still has a hot start issue, and like it's like blowing fuses. Like the previous owner did a wire tuck and put all like the starter solenoid, all the like important wires in the fender well, which was fine when he had like 7-inch wide, 225, you know, with wheels in the front. But I've got now 295s on 11-inch wide wheels, and you know, there is like contact with the wires, and there's been some shorting, and like, you know, it needs to be rewired professionally. Like it needs a full new harness. Like, you know, we've got ground issues, we've got rubbing and shorting issues, and it's the reason why I haven't ever been able to fully enjoy that car. But it did its job. I had to go to the shoot. Luckily, it was only like 15 minutes away, but it was for a Michelin BFG ad, and it was actually the other featured car was Vin's NSX.
Nice.
So it was just those two cars in the ad, and they've only got the road closed off by CHP for 3 hours, so it's like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And Larry Chin basically recruited the car and like cast the car, both of our cars, and they start off and he's sending me pictures and everything's great and like cool, like it's like, yeah, this is a really proud moment, like my car's going to be in a Michelin or BFG ad. And then it was like, hey, we're having some issues with your car, like it's killing batteries, it's not charging. Then it's like it just cuts off like intermittently, and I'm like, yeah, just take the gas cap off. I think it's just vapor lock. Like I delivered the car with the gas cap off because of that, and then it's like, that didn't quite fix it, and it's just like, could you maybe come here and like troubleshoot this? And I'm like, fuck this car, like I don't know what's wrong with it. Like we just fixed blown head gaskets, and like the car's still kind of running warm. So anyway, we go there and like change fuses and like get the car running, and then we have to like bump start it a couple times, and like we're running up literally to the last moment of road closure,
where the cops have like their hands on the guns at this point.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you're gonna go from like our stars to suspects. Like it's like we're gonna open the road, and like whatever you're doing, like you're either going to be off the road or you're going to get arrested.
Yeah.
If your car doesn't drive, if your car doesn't run, then you're going to get pulled over. Like, we're going to go from friends to enemies real quick. But ultimately got all the shots, got everything done. And, it just highlighted what is needed for that car. Like I can drive it to shows. I can drive it to, like, I've got a shoot coming up on Friday, another photo shoot. And like the car is
Didn't you just spend money getting it fixed?
I spent a lot of money, and it's fine. Like, we're narrowing in on what needs to be done. And like what I'm going to do, what I really want to do is a Holly Terminator X, like engine management, and dash. And I think then I'll be able to like really isolate whatever's wrong with the car and make sure that, it runs properly. I've got a few other little things I'm going to do meanwhile, but that's going to be the fix, I think. And looking forward to that, but not looking forward to paying somebody to professionally rewire the car. But that's what it needs. Like it needs to happen. And I'm not giving up on the car. I'm not selling the car anytime soon. I'm going to kind of refresh it, change up the aesthetics. I'm going to get away from the Japanese theme. So
really,
I think at Radwood in a week or two, you should see a different version of the car, and hopefully, over the winter it'll be much more enjoyable, and I just jump in it and drive it wherever.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Montero's in the garage right now because I am finally trying, for two reasons. I'm trying to, ever since I've owned it, the interior doors of the rear doors don't open. So you have to open them from the outside handles, which... Oh,
the door handles don't work.
Yeah, the door handles don't work. The door's open. You can open it from the outside fine, but the interior door... It's kind of dangerous.
Human trafficking...
Yeah. No, it's not great. So I took one door panel off and I was trying to troubleshoot it, and there's an adjustment nut in there, and I was adjusting it one way, it wouldn't work, and I was adjusting it the other way, and it was getting close, but then the outside door handle wasn't working. So like there wasn't a spot for it. So I was getting frustrated, and I went online and I ordered rally car style nylon door pulls. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to find a way to just get rid of the interior door handles and put these right on the bar and have the length appropriate so that you just do door pulls for the rear doors. Fuck it. So if someone wants to fix it down there, I mean, who cares? It has so many miles. It doesn't matter. It's not a show car. It's not period, whatever. Fuck it. I bought them out of anger. And I didn't even look because I found them on Etsy because I couldn't find the ones I wanted. And then like ones from like real companies for race cars were like so overpriced for just nylon straps. Yeah. And then I looked, I'm like, cool, wonder when these will get here. And they're shipping from Greece. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even see that in the, God damn it.
They're known for their
Yeah, fine
aftermarket.
Greek rally door pulls. I
Yeah.
mean, the Acropolis rally was legit, but whatever.
Okay.
And then the other reason it's in here is I touched on the last episode when I was doing the solo podcast. I talked about how I'm going to try and tackle building a sleep platform and storage space in the back of this. So I'm actually pulling it in to really try to do that and see if I can do it. And I'm going to drive the Jag a bit more. Jag is outside right now. I got the Jag oil pressure issue fixed. It was my fault. It was 100% my fault. I thought I had checked the oil and the oil level was fine. So I dropped it off at the shop. They said, no, it's totally low on oil. So we put oil in it and the oil pressure gauge is fine now. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, your oil looked black. So we actually gave it an oil change. I'm like, God damn. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it. I never noticed any spots under it.
How did you fuck that up?
Dude, I don't know. When I went there to
not correct, because like I don't even have a dipstick on the Mustang right now because the dipstick that was in there is totally jacked.
I don't know if I read when it was hot or something. I don't remember. So when I went, the shop is next to a liquor store. So I walked into the liquor store, bought some like a 12-pack Pacifico, and put that down on their counter when I paid for picking my car up. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, and they were laughing. And I also asked if they could diagnose. I get a fuel smell from the rear of the car every now and then because that's where the fuel tanks are, and they have an old Jag guy on staff who he works on muscle cars and hot rods.
The Jag guy and the
TPI guy.
Yeah, TPI guy in one. Yeah.
Well, he works on like muscle cars, and he used to work on Jags, and he's like, well, there's a lot of baffles back there, and there's fuel lines, and there's all kinds of shit, and they're like, for us to fully go in and diagnose it would be like days of labor. And I'm like, I could just live with it for now.
Yeah,
so
wear a mask.
It's probably just some like rotten fuel lines that are just like let vapor out, which isn't the best, but I don't know. I might go on some Jag forums and see if there's like a fix that they're missing. I still want to play around with the TV adjustment to try to get the trans shifting better. But other than that, the Jag is strong after I was a fucking moron with it and wasted that money. So stupid. I was really mad at myself for that one. I thought I checked the oil, but I must have checked it incorrectly or whatever, or thought I did and I didn't.
At least you can check your oil. Like right now, I don't even have a dipstick. It's just blocked off. Like, I'm everywhere I go. I'm like looking for spills, for puddles. Like, is anything leaking? No. Okay.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
We're gonna say we're good, even if we don't know.
Right. Jumping over to Twitter. We don't have a ton of questions this week because I didn't ask early enough, but whatever. We still have 2. First question from Tamerlane Thoughts at Tamerlane Blog. Should I get a new Giulia Quadrifoglio? He's wanted one for a long time. Somebody replied to him, no, you should get a lightly used Giulia Quadrifoglio, which is probably the right answer.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Especially if you could find like a certified pre-owned.
That. Make sure you have a warranty. But yeah. I would not want to take that depreciation hit, whether it's a lease or a purchase. I would want a situation similar to mine, like a 2-3-year-old car that has like a full factory warranty, extended warranty. Mm-hmm. And, it might cost you $5,000-$6,000, but it'll be worth it. 100%. Like to have
especially on an Alpha.
Yeah. Because my Audi just proved its VW.
No.
Yeah, proved its VW. The check engine light came on Sunday night. I was just going to dinner with a buddy for his birthday, and check engine light comes on. And luckily I know the previous owner. So I'm like, yo, has this ever happened to you? And my ex-girlfriend, she's just like, yeah, like the oil light. And I'm like, no, it's not the oil light. It's the check engine light. Like it's much more serious. Like the oil, like I checked, oil level's good. It's not due for an oil change for like 7,000 miles. And I'm like, fucking check engine light. Like,
it wasn't
never
just
been on.
Fuel
car only has 25,000 miles. Exactly. She reminded me that like, earlier this year, the check engine light came on, and it was the gas cap.
Yep.
It was a faulty gas cap, so she took it to the dealer. They charged her $100 for a diagnostic, and then they wanted to charge her $150 for a gas cap. So she was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I forgot that she'd actually checked with me, like, hey, does this sound right? Like, should I do this? I was like, fuck that. Buy the gas cap anywhere else.
Right.
and put it on, and it should just go off. Like you don't even have to take it back to the dealer for it,
Yeah.
to clear the code. So she did that, and sure enough, the code cleared. She didn't have to take it back to the dealer. So just the other day, I was filling the car up, and the gas cap like actually fell off, and like the attachment like just broke, and I was just like, well, what the fuck? And 2 or 3 days later, like now I have the check engine light, so I'm just gonna get another gas cap, swap it out, and
Nice.
hopefully that's it. But I'm like, fuck,
That's hilarious.
this is a Volkswagen.
Nice.
Like,
Yes, it is. Yes, 100%. It's a big Volkswagen. It's a big,
yeah.
expensive Volkswagen.
Oh,
But back to Tamerlane's questions. Yes, get a used, lightly used Giulia Quadrifoglio. Very fun car, as long as you don't have issues with a warranty. Brian Seidel at BC Seidel. What is the likelihood of a Maverick ST or even RS in the future? The SUV ST seem to be selling, which is true. Or do we think that ship has sailed at Ford? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them because they do, we're getting Bronco Raptor. We're getting all sorts of Tremor versions for the trucks. And like he said, Edge ST and Explorer ST, I see them. People are buying those dumb fucking cars. They're
all-wheel drive, right? Like, I mean, are they dumb? Like,
yeah. But the Edge ST is $50,000. You're spending $50,000 on a Ford Edge. The Explorer ST, which makes a little bit more sense because it actually has really good power, is still $60,000. But a Maverick.
But I mean, I hate to say it this way, but like, nothing's cheap anymore.
No.
It's not just because of inflation, but like,
right.
I feel like you've got added value, you've got like performance. Like,
absolutely.
Like $50,000-$60,000, you're not going to get anything worth a shit for less than $50,000 nowadays.
Well, that's why the Explorer ST makes more sense to me than the Edge ST, because a $50,000 Edge is fucking criminal. A $60,000 Explorer with like good wheels and tires and a fun engine and actual room, that somehow makes more sense to me than the fucking Edge. But a Maverick ST, like a Street Fighter Maverick, could be really rad. There was a really good Maverick at SEMA, actually, that blue one that was like slammed down on the big ass wheels. And
there was a few things that like were incongruous about that. Like, it's like straight up like 80s style turbo fans.
Yes.
That crazy roof wing.
The roof wing was insane.
I could get over that. And like, I could even get over the turbo fans, but I think it was like I said, incongruous, but it was one of the more interesting vehicles that
it was fun.
Like, I would love to see an ST version with 300, 350 horsepower, all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a cool alternative to your GTIs, your
oh hell
cars. Like, it's like everyone that I know that's driven a Maverick has just exalted them, just like, sing their praises, and like I haven't had a chance, but like a cool, fun to drive mini truck, I think would be so unique and so cool that I would definitely be interested myself.
And you're starting with a Maverick, so the price is right. So what? My nose is killing me tonight. You're going to wind up at the most in the low 40s, like at the most, and it'd be so much fun. I think you're right on there that it'd be much more intriguing to me personally than any GTI or Golf R, like a Street Fighter Maverick where I could throw my mountain bike in the back or over the bed, and have like fun power and all that stuff. Absolutely, I'd be all for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think they'd go RS, but it'd be really cool to see them do ST for sure. For sure.
And I think it's also very telling that I didn't see any lifted / overland Mavericks anywhere at SEMA. It was like really that one lowered like Street Fighter style truck was the only one that I saw.
Yeah.
I think Ford recognizes that that's a very unique market segment that they can take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they really lean into that because, so many people that I know personally are super excited about mini trucks.
Well, yeah, and then Hyundai would watch and go like, well, let's do a Santa Cruz N, and then you have some cool shit going on.
I mean, I think they should definitely lean into the overland and the light off-roading, just based on the appearance, the stance, the capabilities of that thing, but I don't think they would be remiss in offering like a performance tuned version of that.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be absolutely a lot of fun. That's all I've got this week. Why don't you we're going to have an episode coming up here real soon with the folks at Pennzoil, which will be interesting.
Cool.
It's our first guest since bringing all this shit back online. So that'll be,
Very cool.
we'll see how that goes. If we still know how to talk to people. And then we were working on the dash cam stuff. Like I said, I've got the Maybach coming up. I'm going to get my hands on the BRZ next month. I'm trying to think of anything else coming up that's cool. I'll see the Integra next week. Everybody will see it at Radwood, actually.
Yeah.
We'll be going to Radwood.
Yes, sir.
I'm driving the Montero. I'm debating if I also want to bring the Jag or not. I wasn't going to because I thought we had plans. Well, I thought we had plans that night, so I wanted to get home.
As long as it's not a ticking time bomb.
No. Both cars are fine, but all the plans we had, we're not doing anything. So I don't have to like jam home and worry about getting 2 cars home. So I might add the Jag now and bring both of them. I'll email Brad and see if I can do that.
I'm certain you can.
And then next month,
I registered both the Mustang and the Tahoe for Radwood. So
okay, all right.
It's just in Torrance, right? Like
yeah. You don't have to go far at all.
15-mile drive for me, so I'll just probably shuttle back and forth. I thought it'd be cool to trailer
could do that
Mustang behind the Tahoe, but that seems kind of excessive.
Well, can you have Anthony drive something?
Well,
he's taking the Camaro. He's taking the Camaro. Yeah. Never mind. I forgot he had a Radwood car now. Sorry, Anthony.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have a whole convoy going. I'll get Josh to drive the fucking Jag then. So we've got that coming up. I told you about Autopia 2099. You are going to hear about that again rolling in because I'm
excited about that now.
Yeah, I want people to go, but go buy tickets, everybody, please. We had a new shirt on Blip Shift. Go buy stickers and all that shit. And then that's really it. Go follow Ron on Instagram at 777style. If you really want to be impressive to us, go buy some wheels. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, not kidding, but that's a much bigger ask. And then follow me at Hooniverse Jeff on whatever social media you want, except Facebook, because fuck Facebook. Go watch Ron's crazy ass dash cam video. And then that's all we got for now. And that's episode 307. And we'll see the rest of you later. Bye.